So for the card in the Scorpio Sun position, we have the Page of Wands. This is a card of inquisitiveness, of curiosity, of creative energy, but you don't quite have one particular place that you feel the need to put it in. You are exploring, you are experimenting. Maybe there are things that you're curious about, whether it be in your career or with hobbies that you're just kind of like, oh, I'm really curious about that. I wonder how fun that'll be. I wonder if I have a knack for that. This is the card saying, go for it. Try different things because you don't know what's going to stick and what you're going to end up naturally having a talent for. This is an invitation to broaden your horizons and not be afraid to try different things. Try something new. Keep it interesting. Keep it fresh. Things get really stagnant and really stale and mundane when we just feel like we're a one-trick pony. The Page of Wands is saying that you are an individual who has more than one talent, more than one particular thing that you're capable of. There are other things that you have potential in, and honestly, the options are limitless. It's just a matter of you going out there and not being afraid of learning something new. So, moving on to the Scorpio moon placement, we have the Three of Wands in reverse. So, this card represents in this position playing small or having issues with delays in where we're trying to take our plans or what we're trying to achieve. So in the upright position, if you look at it, she's standing on land and she's looking overseas and she's looking at what's on the other side. There's mountains over there. She's curious. She sees herself finding a way to get over there. But when you have that card in reverse, that vision is a lot more short-sighted. You can't see yourself getting off of land. You can't see what's on the other side of the water. And maybe this is because you don't quite know what's out there for you, so you don't really believe that expansion or growth is possible for you. But that doesn't mean it isn't there. It just means that you've got to open your mind a little. You've got to be a little bit imaginative. You've got to be willing to ask questions. You've got to be willing to connect, network, do some research, and find ways to look through different avenues to get to where you want. Maybe you're not supposed to take a boat to get on the other side. Maybe there's a land bridge that's outside of this picture that's going to get you to where you want to be. Maybe you have to find a way to move around those delays that are holding you back. And maybe these are things that are out of your control, whether it be, you're waiting on other people to come through with parts of a project or parts of things that you need done, and there's delays in their deadlines or their delivery time. Be sure to give yourself room for those kinds of things happening, because we can't control that, right? But we can control the timeline we put on ourselves. And if you give yourself a little bit more breathing room, this won't be so stressful and it won't be so frustrating when it happens. Also, maybe you see the expansion, you see the growth, you see what's on the other side of the water, but it's overwhelming. And you're like, oh, but I have to get all the wood together to build the boat, and then I've got to find people who have nails and hammers, and I'm going to need some power tools too. And oh my gosh, maybe you're just getting so in your head about all the things that you're going to have to do to get on the other side that it's deterring you and scaring you from taking that risk. This card is telling you that if that's the case, if that's what your mind is going through right now, don't let that get to you. Just take it one day at a time, one step at a time, one goal at a time. Break it down into smaller goals. Focus on one thing and say, okay, first things first. This is what I need to get done. Get it done, and then move on to the next goal. Sometimes it's a little daunting to see how big and bad the world is. And sometimes it's okay for us to have to narrow our sights in on what's in front of us and take care of that, because when you do that and you focus on what's in front of you and you just keep on getting things done and you're pacing yourself and you're keeping yourself level-headed the entire time, before you look up, you might realize that you're already well on your way or you're already on the other side. And that's okay too. And as for the third position, the ascending, we have the world in reverse. This card has popped up on multiple horoscopes this month, which I think is quite, um, how do I say? I think it's not necessarily typical, but it makes a lot of sense. The September month is the month where most births happen. So the world card can be representative of people, maybe giving birth to projects, giving birth to children, or cycles coming to an end and things beginning. So in the reversal position, the world card means that there is some chapters that need to be closed that are not being closed on their own. They need to be forced shut. And that means that you got to step up and do it. You got to be the one to say that you're done with this chapter. It's over. I'm not writing any more pages. I'm on to the next thing. And maybe this has to do with a relationship or a job or a living situation. Whatever it is in particular that popped up in your head when I mentioned these things and you saw this card, that's what this is pertaining to. This card is in reverse, is saying, okay, time's up. Are you going to close the book? Are you going to close the chapter yet? Like, what's going on? What are we doing here? And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just sometimes we tend to prolong the inevitable. Sometimes we tend to make things drag out a little longer than they should. And the world card in reverse is a reminder that that's not playing in your favor. That's not working for your highest good. And you got to be real with yourself and real with your circumstances and know when to call a spade a spade. So this is a card that's like, you're ready for this next chapter, but you got to be the one to stop writing the pages. So I hope that this was a very informative and helpful reading, and I do encourage you to look through my videos for your moon and rising so that you can get a full 3-card spread and get a comprehensive reading for the month of September. I hope you subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified on my other videos that I post, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye!